All right. So, who is here? All right. So, I need a Tic Tac. Of course I do. So, I'm going to be right back. Hold on a second. Okay. I had to do that, otherwise I can't talk properly. I can't explain things as well as I would like to, unless I have something, unless I have flavor on my breath. Anyway. So, the really exciting news, which I just want to announce up front and center, is this is, you need to understand that I'm going to be doing this before dinner, and then you're going to go to dinner, and then we're going to come afterward, because I'm going to go over some really important information that you need to know. Point being, it's official that I am changing my plans, and Jada De Laurentiis will be an Minton guest here at my Minton. Things change. I make a schedule and I plan the days out, but inspiration comes and takes over. Well, I want it to take over. I let it take over. Anyway, and she will be coming to the Minton, and she'll be sort of talking to us about her, sort of how she became the person that she is, and sharing some of her favorite recipes with us. And we can see a couple of her shows. And unfortunately, there has to be a little Oprah show type deal, like there was for other people. And here's a reason why. I probably shouldn't tell you now. It may ruin your appetite just a little bit. So I may save that for later. I may forget to talk about it. Who knows? Now, the reason why I've come on this live stream today is because I want to be really honest that when you are in a situation, you may perceive something that may not be what is actually true. For example, I could be walking at night and I could be hearing laughing, and I could be hearing a motorcycle, but apparently it just passes by and does its own thing. And it doesn't hurt me, it doesn't attack me. The people on the motorcycle do not attack me or take me down or anything like that. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that anyone, they could be my age, they could be younger, they could be female, they could be older, can give these examples. So I had this fear that I'm going to get attacked in the middle of the night when I hear laughing and when I hear people talking about somebody and they seem to come up close, and maybe they have a motorcycle and it seems like they're coming right at me, but they just go on their own side of the street and mind their own business. Another example of perception that can be misinterpreted and misunderstood because we are in a Mercury retrograde. Here's the deal. I do not like putting Mercury retrograde in a jar of negativity, but there is some truth to the fact that maybe you can notice miscommunications that occur more. So it's during Mercury retrograde, miscommunications, let's just say, in any case, it's Mercury retrograde and there is a miscommunication and there is a misunderstanding. And depending upon the situation, you can find comfort or, it can be very negative and it can be very upsetting and frustrating. And maybe that miscommunication is more positive than what could be negative, than more positive than negative. It's a positive in a given situation and not a negative. Another example is there was a movie called The Addams Family, the second movie, and Joan Cusack, who played the evil person, was was a nanny, was a sort of like a babysitter coming into the Addams Family house and taking care of the children. She was reading the story aloud to the children as they were about to go to bed, and she was reading about this beautiful, handsome man, and she was describing the man. And then one of the male characters was coming in. Maybe some of you recall this. Maybe I'm sort of making you remember something if you've seen this movie or not. I think it's Addams Family Values or something, or The Addams Family 2, because it's the second movie. She was describing this male person, this character that she was reading aloud to the children. And then this male, character in the story came up to that room and, misinterpreted the situation because he thought that she was describing her, right? He thought that Joan Cusack, the actress, the character that she played, was describing him, when really she was just reading the story, but he was in the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the wrong time, and he overheard that and he thought that she was talking about him. True story. Another example, there was a Studio C skit where a woman, this is more in alignment with the circumstance that just occurred to me, that I'm going to get there. So it was this office situation. This man was talking in an office building about what to do with cattle. And apparently they were going to do something positive, or they were going to take care of the cattle. They were going to do something to put the cattle in its place. Because the phone conversation was about cows. I think it was about cows. And so this man who worked at a desk job was describing the cow and using all these negative ways of describing it. That it's, a mean old heifer, so many negative things. And then this woman was coming in who worked with this, man, and I think it may have been, they were putting on a surprise party for her or something. She came into the room and overheard that conversation. And she was the one who thought that he was describing her and saying all these nasty, very mean and condescending things about her to somebody else on the phone, but she misinterpreted that because he was talking about something else. But she was in the room and heard that, and she was shocked, and she was appalled, and she was floored, and it was, she felt, hurt, and like this person was talking about her in a despicable manner. So it's a super funny skit. I don't remember the name of it, but you can go see, Studio C, woman overhears phone conversation. Let's just see what comes up so that you can go watch this on your own. Of course, I'm not going to play it for you for a couple of different reasons, because that's abusive content. And then the second reason is because copyright completely cuts the sound out, because I'm playing a video from YouTube and it does not work, and it doesn't play on a live stream. I've tried that before. It doesn't work. So Studio C, woman overhears phone call. It's called Surprise Party Slaughter. That's what it's called. So you want to go on YouTube. You want to type in Studio C, woman overhears phone call, Super Party Slaughter, because they were going to slaughter the cow that this man was talking about, and she thought that she would be the one who would be hurt and slaughtered. So Surprise Party Slaughter is the one they were talking about her as if she was not a human. They were talking about, he was talking about a cow in a way of describing a cow because it was a cow. He wasn't having a conversation with her, talking about her, referring to her. So here we are. Why am I doing this live stream? And why am I not making a video about this and putting it on my YouTube channel? Because it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing when I'm about to tell you. It is embarrassing, and I would not want to put that type of material on my YouTube channel. It's very, it just makes me uncomfortable to do that. And that's why I'm doing it in this way, so that it's a healthier, setting, because anyone could be watching that and, yeah. So I really feel like I want to be careful what I put out there, because, and I'm the one saying this, not anybody else, people may think thoughts that are weird or negative, and at the worst case scenario, I don't want to open myself up to the negativity, to it being exposed, and I don't feel comfortable. I really don't feel comfortable. So that's why I'm not going to do that, because in order to tell you, I have to get honest about what happened. Now, I made a video on Friday for those of you who watched it, and it was basically about my cloning building that I have, which all of you know what I do and what is in there, none of your business. And cloning is morally wrong. It is. There's no argument about that. But there is nothing morally wrong with stepping on top of a machine, pressing a button, and then you have a copy of yourself. There is nothing wrong with that simple act of doing that. If I would have to be invasive and take their, DNA out and then, try to, then that is where it's wrong. It is all just other people's perception, other, people telling me that I shouldn't be doing this, that I, shouldn't be cloning. Well, guess what? I have explained and I put up with it so many times, and I'm sick and tired of putting up with it. That's really your problem if you're going to be the one to intervene and give me a hard time and give me the fifth degree about what I do, because I'm not going to deal with it and I'm not going to change it. I know what I want, and I know a part of what I value, and I'm not going to give it up. I'm not going to compromise that. And so, that's the honest truth. So I was explaining that, and I hope it didn't get to where it would be inappropriate. Now, in terms of talking about, I'm just going to say it, because we're headed towards the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. If we're talking about sexual orientation, let's not go there. I really don't know what it is, but let's not go there. Let's not ask those questions, which, we really should not be asking people because they're not appropriate, ethical questions to ask. And, most, the majority of situations. But I do find myself very drawn to people of a certain age, of a certain, look a certain way, sound a certain way, I guess you could say, appear a certain way. And they have come to my invention and they have stood on a machine, the button was pressed, and then they could leave. And then I was left with whom I wanted. People aren't toys and they're not resources. However, point is, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. And I'm not somebody who does things that is morally wrong. And I don't do weird things. I don't do those negative things. And so, may be weird on the surface, but you have to do your research and find out, guess what? It's not, there's no big deal. There's really no big deal. So I had that building full of, people. And, the other little part of the video that I was talking about, that I wasn't afraid to share, was the fact that because I have an electric scooter, and, this is where anything and everything can be more important if this is inconveniencing anything that I should be doing, anything I should be taking care of. What? Okay. Now, now it is time to go to dinner, and I'm going to be setting a time. It is going to be at 7:15 that we're going to come back, and then I'm going to finish telling you what I'm going to be telling you. So you can go to dinner now, and bye for now. And I'll see when I'll have, Jada arrive at the event, and probably I'm probably going to end up pushing it a little bit later into May, and I have a reason for that. I don't want to tell you, but we're going to see what's going to be happening with that. But anyway, that's all for now.